Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm bringing you a more in-depth deck guide on Swordcraft Midrange. This is going to be the format for all deck guides from now on, hopefully. And yeah, let me know if you like it. Let me know if you want to add some things. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments or check out my stream down below. If you catch this early, I'm streaming right now, probably. So yeah, check out my Twitch down below. Or I'm probably streaming on YouTube too, so you could just check the YouTube live as well. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Firstly, what's the win con of the deck? Is controlling board. If you guys play Legends of Runeterra, think of it like Demacia. Any mid-range deck, pretty much if you control the board, your opponent can't remove it, you can win the game. Really common win con in this deck is lower than 12 HP to threaten Albert, super evil, or lethal. Not always how you win the game, but it's just a common win con of the deck. Alright, so here are the core cards. This is about 32 cards. You have about 8 flex slots. Let's just go through them pretty quick. These are the 9 2-drops. Samurai, Landstripper, Prim. They're probably the best 2-drops in the deck, and I see nearly no list cut them. They're just that good. So why are they good? They're good pretty much early and late. You either create board, trade. Like Samurai's good at trading early. Of course he's good at trading late because he can remove any unit because he has Bane late game. Landstripper's good late game with Galdaria, as well as Magus. She combos well with your higher mana cards. And yeah, she's good early because she's just a solid 2-drop. Prim's solid 2-drop that creates Nonja. Landstripper combos with Nonja as well on turn 4. And yeah, Prim Ambush is also really solid. Her Sivo, do not sleep on her Sivo, man. It can do a lot of damage if you're buffing a wide board. So, yep, keep all that in mind. And yeah, 2-drops really good, both early and late game. Provide immense value. Here, next we have False. So False is probably the best 3-drop in the deck that you can add. He's just a 2/1 deal 5 to anything. Deal 5 is already immensely powerful. And you can play it as an enhanced mid game. You'll notice a lot um, this has a trend with our early game cards. They're often like pretty useful later in the game. Um, but yeah, False can be also played as an enhanced 6 mana card. And yeah, she's just good to trade board early game because you get to kill one of your opponent's units and leave your unit alive. Alright, next we have Zirconia, pretty much your mid game. These are your mid game board builders, Zirconia and Magus. Zirconia is really useful, especially if you already have a board. So your opponent in the early game is pretty much forced to remove your early game units because if they don't, you're gonna Zirconia buff up your units and it's gonna be really bad for them. So yeah, Zirconia is like the best 4-drop in the deck. I don't think I see any Swordcraft um, decks with any other 4 costs. Maybe Nightly Rendering, but that's a spell, and that's pretty much it. Magus is really good. She stops aggression, so really good into aggro. And yeah, Amelia plus Magus combo can just shut down some decks. So keep that in mind. Amelia plus Magus is an 8 mana combo, and you see when the Amelia and Magus pretty much gets barrier. Like the whole board gets barrier, except Amelia, of course. But yeah. Okay. Albert, your main finisher of the deck. There's only 2 here because some people run 2, some people run 3. I personally run 3, but I can definitely see dropping him down to 2 in certain lists, especially if you feel like you have enough draw and because you don't want to really see him early. You mainly want to see him on turn when you have 9 mana, right? And you can end the game. But you can search him out with Amelia plus Olivia. So yeah. Um, I'm just gonna go through Amelia and Olivia first. They're pretty much the main draw of the deck. Olivia is technically not a core card. I've seen lists cut her, but nowadays most lists run her because like if you don't run her, you're pretty much going off of only Amelia draw, and sometimes it's really hard to survive like that. So yeah, keep that in mind. Olivia, if you want to cut her, you can, but she feels really good in the deck from my experience. Gildaria is one of the best cards in the deck. She's pretty much your wide board clear. Anytime there's a wide board, you play her and clear. Yeah. Odin is just here because he's broken right now. And pretty much Odin is necessary into the Wordhaven matchup as well because of Wilbert. So yeah, he's broken and he's pretty much necessary to beat Wordhaven. And Amalia is just, you guys all know Amalia at this point. She's just one of the best late game cards. She fills your entire board. She is like 20% of no, not 20%, 25% of Gildaria's condition to auto Sivo, which is rally 20, and she summons 5 units. So well, she summons 4 units plus herself, which is 5. So yeah, I mean Amalia is just broken, one of the best late game cards. Um, you oftentimes coin her on 7 to play this for yeah, you coin her on 7 to play this really good 8 mana card. She's just really good. All right, here are your flex cards in the deck. So let's just go through all of them and why you would want to play them. Hey, if you're interested, this is my current list. If you just want the list, it's in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into all the flex cards. All right, first we have Quick Blader. Quick Blader is, why is he here? He's like he's just a good 1 mana card, and he's really good if you need extra Gildaria units. He's really good in combination with Gildaria, Zirconia, even Albert late game, Amalia. Like, he's just a really solid card, both early and late, and I really like having it personally. Phil Dial's kind of awkward, but I see people run him as another 2-drop. It's really between Phil Dial, Kotroman, and Saria for your next 2-drop. And of course, like the 1-up band is pretty common as well. But yeah, we all know what these 2-drops do. Basically, Coach Romain is more stats. Filled out is hard removal, but he's an evil point, which I don't like because oftentimes, as you'll see later in the guide, you really don't want to be wasting your evil points, especially on stuff like filled out. You want to use it on stuff like Zirconia, Gildaria, your evil on Olivia, Amelia, Amalia, Albert. You always want to hold like a evil for Albert. So yeah, you don't really want to be wasting your Evo on Fildao. That's what I personally think. Saria, I think Saria is really good if you run Rose. If you don't run Rose, she's kind of more questionable, but she's really good at countering like wide aggro decks like Aggro Abyss. Coach Woman, Coach Woman, I should keep this in mind. Like if you need to like chop Rose if you're gonna run Coach Woman or Fildao, in my opinion, they just make it so inconsistent. Like your Rose just becomes a lot less consistent if you read these cards. So Coach Woman is a good card. She's probably better than Saria if you do not run the Rose variant. Um, so yeah, Grimnir is a solid 1 or 2 of just to like if you have a Sivo on board, then it deals 2 mana board wipe, 2 mana AoE. So yeah, it's a solid like ward 3-drop if you just want an extra 3-drop. Lirala. So basically, we only have vaults for 3-drops right now, right? So usually you end up running up to 6, 5 to 7. I would say 5 to 7 3-drops. So pick among these. Grimnir is usually a 1 or 2 of. Band of Battle Princesses, I think, is a tech for the mirror primarily. So if you want to tech for the mirror, go ahead and pick this up. It's good to get into other matchups too, but it's primarily used for the mirror. Liral is another tech for the mirror because you get to heal past Albert range. Um, yeah, it's another tech for the mirror. It's also pretty good into Roach. It's been used in a couple tourney lists recently. So if that sounds appealing to you, like you want to beat the mirror, Band of Battle Princesses, they're all really good. Hound of War is usually used as a 1 of if you want a 7th 3-drop. So but it's really solid. It is another card that's good early game and late game. You can use it just to trade on turn 3. You can use it. It's enhanced on turn 6. Really solid. Rose, I think okay. I think Rose should be core, but she's not. People drop her because they don't like running Saria, and Saria's garbage and stuff. And like, I think she's good. Um, because 0 mana cards are broken. So if you just use Rose as removal, she's pretty solid. Like just her ability to remove people, where she just auto kills damage targets, right? But if you have a 0 mana samurai or 0 mana lance trooper to pair with Kildaria, 0 mana samurai, right? People often don't track the 0 mana cards. So if you have Albert Lethal, they set up a big ward. Like Rune sets up an Anagrea ward. Use 0 mana Samurai, the Anagrea ward, and then Albert. They oftentimes don't track that, even in Masters Diamond. Because I'm usually in Masters Diamond with this deck. I kind of sacked down to Ruby playing Roach, but we don't talk about that. Usually, like when I play this deck in Diamond, people do not track the 0 mana cards, and they often misplay. So, I mean, you could say it's kind of high roll, but I think Rose is really good. Um, that's my personal take. Of course, if you're teching for tournament or a meta you know there's gonna be a lot of mirrors, then maybe Lirala plus Band is better than Rose plus Area. But yeah, um, yeah, I think Rose is good for ladder primarily. All right, next we have Albert, um, because yeah, I already stated like people run 2 or 3 of him. So if you want the third Albert, go ahead and pick him up. Oh, also Rose is technically she cycles herself on 5 mana for the 0 mana card, so she's technically more draw, which I mean I do like draw a lot, so I'm a little biased. Geno is usually not run that much anymore because you would like what are you dropping for Geno, right? Olivia or Odin. Like maybe you can drop one of them for a Geno, but he's usually not run anymore. But he is a really solid way to clear board without using your evolution points, which is primarily why he's in the deck. Uh, so yeah, tentacles I think is pretty solid one of if you want it. I usually don't like one ofs like this. It's it's not bad. It's pretty good in the mirror. It's pretty good if you need an extra bit of damage. Yeah, you can consider running this if you like it. It's a more aggro card, I would say, but it's also pretty good into the mirror because it heals. Centaur is a budget Albert, so yeah. If you already run 3 Albert and you want another Albert for some reason, then feel free to run it. Or if you only have 2 Alberts and you want a third, feel free to run a Centaur. And Urius, I don't think he's good. Like people think he's good. I put him here because he is run in some lists. I think he's decent into ladder, but not really because everybody runs Odin, and he's pretty much dead to Odin. It's an so Urias is pretty much an Odin check to most decks. Like some decks can clear him without Odin, but um, in the mirror he's an Odin check, especially. And yeah, most of the time they have the or like double vaults as well, but yeah, most of the time they have an Odin and it doesn't feel good. Like not even in the mirror, like against most decks they just have Odin. So I would suggest not playing Urias. But you know, let's say you pull him from a pack, you want to try him out, feel free to put him in. Anyway, without further ado, this is my list. It's a really standard list. The only thing that's not super standard is the 2 times quick blader, but I think the quick blader is becoming a little more standard. Um, Actually, you could run the Geno if you cut the quick bladers as well, and just run a more heavy top end. I do not mind that. But again, quick blader's like super flexible. He's not just a 1 mana deal one. Like he's not. He's not just an early game play. He's really good in the mid to late game as we discussed. All right, Mulligan. So this is pretty easy. This is like one of the easiest decks to mulligan in for most matchups. You keep your 2 drops. You keep your 3 drops if you have a 2 drop. You keep Gildaria into board-based decks such as the Mirror. And ideally, you want a 2-drop with the Gildaria, but if you don't have one, sometimes I still keep her. Especially into Sword, like, or Rune, she's like really good. Zirconia, you keep her if you're going second and you have a 2-drop, or if you're going first and you have two or 3 drops, so early game plays. And you keep Odin into Haven because it's pretty much necessary into Haven. All right, so the game plan early game. You play your early game units. Pretty simple. Early game units include your 2 drops, your 3 drops, your 1 drop, and yeah. And you take good trades and you try to maintain your board. That doesn't mean you can't trade at all. Like Samurai is just a 2-1 rush. You can trade that into a 2-2, and that's a pretty good trade. You're trading a 2-1 for a 2-2. That's pretty solid in my book. But you want to try keep as much of your board alive as possible for your Zirconia turn. Mid game, pressure with big boards and clear your wide boards. So Gildaria is really good because she makes a big board and she clears your wide boards. You need to, you can use her like whatever in some matchups, but most of the time you want to save her until you need to use her to clear a board. Like you absolutely have to use her. Um, yeah, but she's probably one of the best cards in the deck, and if you can get her to auto super evil with her rally ability, like late game, then it's just extra super evils pretty much, and you will win the game if you play like usually one one auto super evil Galdarias will win the game, but sometimes like 2 or 3 like they can't handle it. All right, late game, you try to touch an Albert lethal, so lower them to 12 HP. If no Albert, try to make boards they can't clear with Amalia, plus her 4 wards that she automatically summons. What do I mean by Amalia plus 4 wards? Because she automatically summons 4 wards. Well, you can trade some of the wards, and then maybe you can like add a quick blader, or 2 quick bladers, or you can add a lance trooper, right? Um, or like a 0 mana 2 cost as well. Yeah, just try to have 4 wards up with her, and it'll be like a really solid board that you can try to push lethal with. And Amelia Siebel plus Magus, pretty good into Forest, pretty good into Rune. Um, they have a really hard time dealing with that. All right, so matchups, the mirror. So Albert is pretty much controls the mirror. Albert range. Why is this? It's because they don't have much outs. So the only outs to Albert if you're 12 HP is to Olivia, or you evil a ward, because they don't really run wards. That's why we talked about Lirala being a really good tech for the mirror, because you're healing out of that range, right? You're healing out of the Albert range. It's another out to heal, pretty much. Um, right. So like some quick things to remember. Quick Blader adds 1 damage at 10 mana, so make sure you're not at 13 HP. Because you don't know if they're running Quick Blader or not. If you're in an open deck format and you don't have to play around Quick Blader, then it's fine. But if you're in ladder, just keep Quick Blader in mind and keep track of the 0 mana cards from rows. Very important. All right. Yeah, keep Gildaria if you have a 2-drop. I sometimes even keep Gildaria if I don't have a 2-drop. It depends how many 2-drops you're running. I didn't want to keep her no matter what, because some people will only just run the 9 2-drops in their list. I do not suggest that, but if you only run the 9 2-drops, you probably have to kick the Gildaria. Um, but yeah, the whole game is, of course, maintaining board. That's the whole general game plan, right? But keep the 12 HP break point in mind, right? Keep that in mind. All right. Spell boost rune. I think it's about 45, 55. So slight disadvantage here. I would keep Gildaria because it's your outs Quan and Norman, and you don't want to just use your evils willy-nilly, because if you just use your evil to push 2 damage and then they Norman and heal 8, you're gonna be sad. Like you're gonna be sad if they do that. If you are big brain, you can hand track the spell boost. like Evo Vaults is actually really good if you hand track spell boost, because if you notice their William or Flames of Chaos, you're like, okay, this card is the only card with like 3 spell boosts on it. Then you can be like, okay, I can evo my Voss, and he's out of the range, and pretty solid. Um, Amelia plus Magus is hard for them to deal with, and they can't OTK you with the Astaroth spell if you force their Sivos, because that requires this is Sivo, right? So it buys you an extra turn. If you can force, like, if you are forced to go into turn 10, just try to force out all of their Sivo points before turn 10. And yeah, I hate playing against Rune. It sucks, but let's do your best. All right, Roach. I don't know why I didn't write this, but Amelia plus Magus is also pretty good into Roach. Um, but yeah, Evil Wing Wars is pretty good. On turn 7 or 8, they try to lethal you, so keep that in mind. The main thing with this matchup is Roach players kind of play solitaire. In a way, they're just trying to set up Roach, and they're just doing that the whole game. But you basically need to force out as many resources as you can before the Roach turn. Like, force them to clear big boards. And if you could force out the resources, then they usually can't lethal you. Also remember like clears from left to right. This can be important with certain board states. So yeah, remember to order your cards if you need to. Yeah, glade clears from left to right. So just keep that in mind. Ramp Dragon, pretty good matchup for the most part. Sometimes they high roll you, and that kind of sucks. But just try not to let them play Fenny for free. Pressure them early as much as possible. It's all about early pressure in this matchup. So keep all your early game cards, and then yeah, if they try to ramp, you need to punish them by evoing and like pushing face damage. Because that's pretty much the best you can do. Like you, if they try to ramp, oftentimes you get a really big Zirconia turn. So it could also be worth keeping Zirconia in this matchup if you can. So keep that in mind. All right, Aggro Abyss. I mean, it's pretty easy in my opinion. You just calculate the line that prevents as much damage as possible, because you barely have healing. You have Olivia for healing, so prevent all the damage you can. Voss is really good into barrel. Aragavi also keeps Aragavi clears from left to right, so yeah, keep that in mind for your Zirconia turn. Um, like let's say you're on turn 6, you can play like, I don't know, Samurai plus Zirconia, and you want to buff the Samurai. You can be like, okay, do I want the Samurai to get hit first or the Zirconia to get hit first? Because you know, if you want to save the Samurai, you can play the Zirconia, evil the Zirconia, and then Samurai last. That's just an example. Um, yeah. Luminous Mage is a rare keep, but she's pretty good to keep if you know it's Aggro Abyss. Um, and you have like 2 early game plays at least. All right, Midrange Abyss. Do not waste your evils in this matchup, because you really need to save them. This matchup often comes down to who can evil last. They have a lot of healing, so evoing for face damage is not worth it. Pay attention to Serb's lethal range. This increases with every follower you leave on the board, so keep that in mind. Also, it increases with Shadow Crypt Memorial by a lot. Um, Shadow Crypt Memorial plus Serb, really common lethal. So try to stay out of that range if possible. It's sometimes really hard, but yeah. Um, and also just stick to the general game plan and try to maintain the board. They're also like, as a mid-range deck, they're also gonna try build their own board. But your deck is pretty good at building boards, so yeah. All right, Ward Haven. They need to draw Wilbert. If they don't draw Wilbert, usually you win the game. If they do draw Wilbert, you need to draw Odin. And if you draw Odin, usually you win the game. And that's kind of dumb, but yeah, that's how it is. So you keep Odin in this matchup, keep some early in cards, and yeah, you try to fish for Odin if you don't get it. Um, so you need to pressure them early, but expect to get Sleep Foot on turn 5. So So with this in mind, if you Zirconia before the Salifa turn, keep your Zirconia above 3 HP at all costs, because they will have to trade their Salifa into your Zirconia. And they don't want to do that, but they kind of have to. Gildaria is pretty decent into this matchup because it's your out for Aether, and I have like a really long bullet point at the bottom. But if you can get Albert in, like by all means do it. By all means do it. Um, but he rarely gets in for 12 damage. But be creative with your lethal because he usually rarely gets in because of all the words. Um, that's just my experience. Um, Artifact Portal, I played this matchup a lot from both sides, and it's pretty dependent on who uses their evils first. Usually, if whoever uses their evils first loses, so do not waste them. Try not to play into Gamma. I don't really have much tips for this matchup. Just Gildaria the Orcus, and I guess you can Gildaria the Ramia as well, but try not to play into the Gamma if you can help it. You can also Amalia their Orcus if you don't have Gildaria. And yeah, just do your best to maintain the board. It's pretty tough. Gamma, it just makes this matchup really tough. Gamma plus alphas. It's a hard matchup. Uh, it's just a hard matchup. All right, Puppet Portal. Try to force them to use their evil points. If you force them to use their evil points, usually you win the game, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, that I don't want to go through too much with this deck. It's like build your board, threaten them, force them to use their evos, and if they don't have their evos for Orcus and Liam, then usually you win the game. So yeah. All right, thanks for watching. Now we're gonna go into some gameplay, and the link to the deck will be in the description, of course. Comment any information you think I should have. So yeah, let's get into the gameplay. All right, so we're gonna watch a replay against Sword. I don't really remember this game too much. We FOMO there. I think I should have maybe kept the Gildaria. Keep that in mind. We don't get quite a great hand. But yeah, we're doing my last replay against Sword because it's the most common deck on ladder. So yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna review like whatever deck guide I'm doing. We're probably gonna review it against the most common deck on ladder at that point in time. But sorry, let's go through. I mean, turn 1 there's not much to talk about. Turn 2, it's pretty much always samurai there almost. So he has a grimnir up. We top deck the balls if you get lucky. Alright, he Seria's. Yeah, we Seria back because we can't Zirconia evil, right? So pretty simple. We might Zirconia next turn. We could also just Luminous. I think I'll get play here is Luminous, evil this, go face. Let's again. I played this yesterday, so yeah, okay. That's what I end up doing. He's playing the aggro variant with Kagemitsu, kind of falling out of favor. Yep, he's gonna kill Seria. And oh, yeah. So why is Luminous good there, right? It's because the main resource that Sword has to clear Luminous is Gildaria, right? And he already coined. So he could not Gildaria that turn, which is why Luminous is really powerful there. But yeah, Quick Later is really good here. Like, Evo the Zirconia. Trade with the Quick Later. And we get 2 wards because we have the Luminous range up. And yep, he trades up here. Yeah, he's in alpha range, so not much he can do. That was kind of a bad game, so let's try to get another one. All right, we have a full keep here. We're against Forest, so normally it's Roach. Um, this is a deck that's pretty on the come up because of the recent tournaments that have been happening. But yeah, we're just gonna pass here. Here I think I will coin and Rose trade. Coin Vols is also decent. But yeah, she trades well with the 1-3. And here I believe I just Lance Trooper. Yep. Let's get this out. Pretty decent trade there. Here I think we can prim Nontra or we can Vols. I decided to prim Nontra and trade it here. And then push one. We could have Evo there. I decided it's not worth. And I get a little punish for it. But it's not that bad. We have Samurai Vols to back on the board. Again, we're just trying to control the board. And yep, this definitely helps us control the board. So he trades, or he doesn't trade, he just does it with, I don't know why he bailed there. I think that's a mistake. I think that has to be. So we're gonna Donja, Samurai, straight into this. I believe I Evo this because Evoing Warge is like pretty good into this matchup. And here to use the bail too. Yeah, so this card's not run super commonly in Roach anymore, so I was pretty surprised to see it. And I'm surprised again because again I played these games yesterday. Here I see the prim. Sorry, we should be pausing and yeah, but here let's go back to that turn real quick. I mean the play's kind of obvious. The Sivo prim might not be obvious because some people would just Sivo Amalia to take care of this. I Sivo the prim because I want the extra face damage as well, and it buffs up everything. So we Sivo prim, buff everything up, so we can only trade 2 knights, and we get the extra face damage as well. Right. He plays another one, which maybe. Usually it's a 1-up in Roach decks if anything. He evils it just to have like a big ward that I have to deal with. Here it's a little hard to deal with. I believe I Amalia, and then we just regular Evo. We trade 1 knight and then we just Evo to trade this. I want to save my Sivo for Albert, just to send it at least. They do that, get the face damage in, pass. And he has the Apollo, which kind of sucks for us, right? Oh, did I pause it? My bad. Alright, what do you guys do here? It's kind of rough, right? I think I just Albert Sivo and I get it in. Oh, I'm wrong. What do I? Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't count the rally. So in the game, I think I counted my rallies. I was like, hey, I'm 2 off Gildaria. So I decided to Saria quick later. And then I get 2 damage in, and then I set up for the Albert lethal. That's so much smarter. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't check the Gildaria rallies in the replay, but yeah. Here he Sivos a 3rd one, which is very unexpected. Pretty sure this is not Roach at this point, but I decide to just Albert, Sivo, and just clear the board. Because he's also out of Evos, and I cannot leave that to live. I cannot leave that to live, so yeah. Pretty much play my only play. I'm in top deck mode right now, so not too great. And yeah, when I see this card, I'm like for sure it's not a Roach deck. And I think I decide to just swing face twice and touch and lethal next round, right? Here we see the Lance Trooper combo, right? Lance Trooper plus Mage, or plus Magus gives the Knight's Rush. And yeah, we end the game there. Alright, yeah, we're gonna end it there. The video's already lasting quite a bit long. So yeah, check out my stream down below. I'm probably streaming right now if you catch this early. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you all in the next guide. Peace.